we always said before that history is consistent. So, in the sense that what we studied before is related to what we're studying now, and what we're studying now is related to what we are going to study later on. It's very important to look at the date here. What is so critical about this date, guys? 1492. Yes, sorry? Columbus, exactly. Now, as I just a few seconds away, we said that history is consistent. So, this is related to what we studied before because at the beginning of the year we studied about the Renaissance, right? And part of the Renaissance age is 1492. So we can say that this age of discovery, this date that changed the history of the world, comes as a result of Renaissance, right? Actually, you will go to see later on that Christopher Columbus discovered that there is like, a new land, or he believed that the earth is round, only because he started to read a lot of books and containing a lot of theories. But how did he find like a lot of books? Simply because the printing press machine that we talked about in the Renaissance age made books available for everybody. You see the connection now?
Yes.
Right? Alright. The whole story is very easy. I guess you studied about Christopher Columbus before. It's very easy, guys, to know that he was not the one who discovered Latin America or North America. He was the one who discovered that there is a land to the west. So if we go to the map, I guess there is a map here. Yeah. If we go to the map, you can see that Europe is here. And he was the first one who believed, as long as the world is round, so he believed that if I travel to the west, then I will end up in India, in the east. Now, why did he want to go to India? Simply because of what we studied in chapter 19 and 18 before. Remember when we talked about the European competition over India and the spices in term 1, right? It was part of the same issue of the competition. Well, he said, if I want to find another map where there is like, here. He said, I want to find another way to India because at that time there was, remember, this competition between Spain and Portugal and later on the Netherlands and the English over the way to India for the spices. So now he said, if I want to follow the same passage to India, then I will have competition, and the competition might develop into clashes with other countries who are already interested in the same source, which is spices. So what I'm going to do, as long as the world is round, so I can travel from here to the west, and then I will end up in the east. So I will find a shortcut, okay, to India. Now, unfortunately, he was mistaken because he landed up in what is today called the Bahamas, which is just a small island, one of the Caribbean islands. Then he thought that he's in India. India in Spanish language is Indies, and therefore the people in India, as he thought it's India, they became known as Indians, and from here came the title Red Indians because of their skin color. Now this is wrong. We can't say Red Indians anymore. The official title in history is Native American or Native People of America. Alright? So, very quickly, guys, this is the story of Christopher Columbus. Okay, after Christopher Columbus came a lot of sailors, discoverers, explorers, you can say. Pedro Alvarez, for example, the one who discovered the Brazil and claimed it for Portugal. You can see also there is a kind of consistency now, because we talked before about the competition between Portugal and Spain and how they went to the Pope, and the Pope found the solution in the Treaty of Tordesillas, if you still remember, when he just got the map and draw a line and said this is for Spain and this is for Portugal. Remember? Yes. As I said before. Now this is also part of the competition, because while the Spanish actually took over most of Latin America, the Portuguese actually took over Brazil, and this is why today we don't have anything called the Brazilian language, for example. What do they speak? Portuguese. We don't have something called Uruguayan or Chilean or Argentinian language. They speak Spanish. Alright? Again, part of the competition. Now, as you can see, guys, again back to the map. Shh. Okay, again back to the map, guys. Christopher Columbus was the first one to discover that there is a land to the west. Those who came after him actually wanted, out of curiosity, to know what is there beyond this land. So they discovered that there is a big land, a continent. Then somebody else wanted to know what is after this, the land. So they discovered that there is another ocean. And this is how they discovered the whole world as we know it today. So the importance of this date, 1492, is this is the day that it changed the map of the world. Before that date, everybody knew that the world is composed of 3 continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa. It was only after this date that people started to know that there is another land on the map. Now, as we said, Pedro Alvarez discovered Brazil and claimed it for Portugal. Later on came Amerigo Vespucci, who discovered Latin America, and therefore Latin America or North America or South America, they were given the name after him, Amerigo America. So the map, okay, in the map, while this German map maker was doing the map, he just wanted actually to name this land that is recently discovered at that time. So what I'm going to name it, I will name it after the one who discovered it. So from Amerigo came America. And for sure, when they discovered that there is another land to the north, to differentiate between them, they said South or Latin America and North America. Now, then came Núñez. He was the first one to discover what is after this Latin America. I mean, the Pacific Ocean. Then came our friend Magellan. So the whole lesson today is all about sailors, explorers, and conquerors, and their stories. What is the story of Magellan? It's a very nice story. His achievement is he was the first one to travel around the world. Perfect. Alright, but as long as he's going to take like a very long journey traveling around the world, so you cannot go with one ship, for sure. Okay, remember that technology was not okay at that time. Technology was lagging behind. So he decided to go with 250 men and 5 ships. Well, he was stupid, because when he landed in what is today the Philippines, he discovered that the people are making kind of demonstrations and coup, inqilab, against their government. So there were kind of problems between the people and the government, the president or the king, whatever. He has nothing to do with this, but he decided to fight with the people against their government. What happened is he was killed during this fight. So after 2 years of a long journey around the world, out of 250 men, only 18 survived, and out of the 5 ships, only 1 ship actually survived. So we're done with objective number 1. Let's go for the conquistadors or the conquerors. Now, look at the shift now in the mentality. In the beginning, Europeans went as sailors, explorers. They just want to know out of curiosity what are there on the west. There is a land. Now, we want also to know out of curiosity what are there in the land. What kind of resources? Gold, spices, whatever. Now they already landed there, they already met the native people of America, they already knew that there are resources like gold, like. What is left now? Why can't we claim the land? So now the shift is, instead of going as explorers, they are going now as conquerors. So there are like 2 very nice stories about the conquerors. One conqueror actually was called Hernando Cortes, and he was Spanish, and he was the one who went to what is today Mexico, where there was the great Aztec civilization. And he went there, Cortes, wearing the armors for the warriors, and it was sunny day. So when he just landed, the emperor of the Aztecs, Montezuma was II, when he saw a white-skinned person coming with the armors he wearing reflecting the sun rays, he saw that he's meeting God. Those people were, Latin American, native people were native, primitive people, so they did not actually get education. So because he saw that he's meeting the God, so he started submitting everything that he has to the God. So he gave him a lot of gold. When Europeans saw that they are meeting people who have a lot of gold, but they don't know the value of the gold. So they have the resource, but they don't know the value of this resource. So they claimed, Europeans, Cortes and his crew, that we have a sickness in the heart, and this sickness cannot be cured except if you give us gold. And this is this is how actually they took all the gold from the Aztecs. And then they conquered them due to the superiority of weapons, for sure. Europeans were fighting with rifles, with guns, and natives were actually fighting with arrows and spears. Now, let's go to another story, and then I'll go back to the diagram. So, another story is Francesco Pizarro. Francesco Pizarro was also Spanish, but he went to what is today Peru. This country called Peru, where before it was a place for the great civilization of the Inca people. Also, they had their emperor, his name was Atahualpa, and the story says that those people were not the same as the people in Mexico. They resisted the Europeans and they fought against the loss of their land, but for sure, again, due to the superiority of weapons, they lost their battle. Atahalba was captured by Pizarro, the Europeans. Now the story says, the people of Atahalba, of the Inca, wanted to free their leader. So they want to make a deal with Francisco Pizarro. The deal was, we will give you a room filled with gold, and twice filled with silver, and in return you have to free our president or our emperor. If you are the European in this case, if you are Francisco Pizarro, what are you going to do?
Take the gold.
You take the gold, yes, because you are coming for the result. You're right. Another opinion? Yes, Mr. Turki. Kill him. And the gold?
Sir, because if we don't release him, he's gonna come with a stronger army.
So what about the gold? We're coming for the gold.
But sir,
Okay.
sir,
Thank you for your beautiful opinion.
Pizarro has more men and has more technology than that.
Right. Yeah, but he doesn't know the place of the gold. He doesn't know where the gold is located. He doesn't know the area. So, what European did is, what Pizarro said, he said yes. I accepted it. So he took the money, the gold and the silver, and then he said, yes. Because even if I took the money and the gold, this is how he projected the issue. Even if I took the money and the gold and the silver, then I free him, and then as the Turkish said, they are going to come back again with like a huge number of forces. Yeah, but you didn't say it like all. Okay, you said half. So you still need to. Okay, guys. Now, how do you think Europeans treated native people?
Not very.
Disrespectful. Akid, harshly, in a disrespectful way, in a human way. So, one of the systems that Europeans used to treat or to deal with the natives was kind of forced labor. We need people to work in fields, to work in mines. We want people to extract gold and other resources. Who is going to work? We, the Europeans, the white people? No, we are the master. So they forced Indians, Red Indians or native, I don't want to say Red Indians anymore, okay, they forced them to work. The system in Spanish, the system of forced labor was called encomienda. Another thing that is really worthy to mention is, who was going to settle or as settlers in Latin America? European males, because for sure you're going there and you know that the area is free from anything, so you have to start everything from zero. So it's going to be hard life. If it's going to be hard, I'm not going to get my children and my wife, for sure. Men, physically tough, can endure this. So, this is why we ended up having what? Having males, European males, with natives females, because most of the males, as you see here in this diagram, were killed. Out of 25 million natives, only 1 million was left in 100 years, in less than 100 years. Either because of diseases, their bodies were not immune to the diseases that they were. Now we are in the 21st century, and we got vaccination. At that time, there was nothing called vaccination. When we travel from one place to another place, we get cold sometimes, right? Because we say, تغيير الجو, changing weather, although we have vaccination. So later on, we're talking about the 14th and the 15th century, when there was nothing called vaccination. Lots of people were not immune to the new diseases. And by the way, it happened also vice versa. Like even some Europeans were actually died because of the new diseases they actually faced in the contact in the Indians. Now, who's left again? Native females. European males. They got married from each other and they resulted in a new race. This new race that is a mixture of European, white people, and red-skinned people resulted in mestiços. Moreover, as you're going to see later on, this age resulted in something else, resulted in the slavery, the age of the slavery. Because when most of the males were killed, the natives, who's left to work in fields? Women. Nobody. So they wanted to bring people to work. A very good thing actually is, when they killed most of the males, and the rest, some of them actually, they were already living there and they are the native people, but they were not actually forced to work this kind of physically tough work. Some of them used to escape to the forest, to the jungle, knowing that we are the natives, so we know our way through the jungle, but Europeans cannot follow us. And finally, Europeans were not allowed, were not able to follow them, because at the end of the day, they don't know their way through the jungle. And they don't know what they are going to see in the jungle, what they are going to be faced with. Wild animals, diseases, whatever. So the Europeans wanted somebody else to work in fields. Who? We need somebody who is physically tough and who is already have skills about farming. African are already skillful in farming because European had contact with Africa due to the closeness actually in the geographically I mean. So they already developed an idea about how the Africans are skillful in farming. Moreover, Africans are physically tough and most importantly, skin color, they cannot escape or go through the forest because they also foreigners, so they don't know their way through the jungle. And even if they escape and survive, they might escape at night, but in the morning they can call actually very easily because of the skin color. Now the story is very easy, guys. Listen to this. Listen to this. When Europeans went to Latin America in the beginning, they used to bring their food with them. But unfortunately, guys, when the food was over, they used to rely on sending one ship back to Europe to get more supplies. And it happened so many times that lots of the ships who went to Europe did not even go back. Either they lost their way, there was nothing called navigation systems at the time or GPS, or some of the ships were hit by storms. Again, the technology was lagging behind at that time. So what would happen to the people who lived here without food? Yeah, it happened. So many cases actually of European death because of starvation. Then they started to think of another idea. Why do we have to rely on sending back to get some supply? But what about the people who were already living there in Latin America, the native people? How they are surviving? But they eat. But what do they eat? So they monitored them and they discovered that they eat things that were not known, and this is a very nice fact. You will be surprised now. They noticed that they are eating things that were not known by Europeans and the rest of the world at the time, like paratha, bread, rice, paratha, jibin, or chips. Alright, they used to eat potato, corn. These things actually corn. They were not known. The maize, corn. They were not known by Europeans. And by the way, Europeans took the seeds and implanted back in Europe. From there, it spread all around the world, and this is why we knew potato and corn from native people. And the good fact, the nice fact, by the way, is potato contributed in the booming number of populations of the world. You know why? Because lots of people at that time used to die because they did not have enough money to buy food. When potato was implanted and it's cheap and full of nutrients, it helped people to survive and to live more. So they got money, so it brought children, and this is how the number of population boomed because of the potato. Just imagine, potato helped the number of population booming. Now, we're done here, we're done there. Guys. Alright, here guys, here. This whole story of how the Spanish started the age of discovery actually played a very important role in making Spain the strongest country in the world. How? Very simple formula. Follow this circle, endless circle. Look, more lands claimed means more resources.
More children.
More resources means more money. Bravo. More money means more power. You can use the money to strengthen your army. Strengthen army or strong army or power will enable you to take more land. More land will give you more resources, money, and this is a cycle. We ended up having Spain became the most powerful country in the world at that time. Now, with those people who went there as colonizers or settlers, for sure they sent with them some priests, monks, religious people. Now see again the consistency I talked about in the beginning of the lesson between what we studied before. Remember when we studied about Catholics and Protestants? Remember last thing we talked about at the time, how both of them, Catholics and the Protestants, decided to establish schools to call more people or to convert more people to Christianity, right? Because there was a challenge between them who's going to get more supporters. The people of Europe were already defined, either Catholic or Protestant. We need more people. Now we know that there is another land to the west, right? So we need to convert those people. And the good thing is, those people in Latin America were without a religion, without a real religion. They were like living in harmony with nature, if I can say. It's not a religion. So it's easy to convert somebody who is without a religion, rather than to convert somebody who is already having a religion, right? So this is part of what we studied also before. Now, those people, the priests, mainly the Catholic priests, were again religious people. All religions in the world are okay, are good people, are good religion, and therefore they protested against the harsh treatment of the native people in Latin America. They protested against their own governments until some of the governments, like Spain, was forced to abolish the encomienda or the first slavery in 1542. All right. Now, no more forced labor, so we need workers. This is why they have to rely on Africans, and this was actually the beginning of the age of slavery. Now, I guess, yeah, this is it, guys. As I told you, this is a small lesson. Nafa, we can stop it now. I will show